Folks who care about faith and our country's future.
There is no force on earth that can stop us from saving our country.
Want to be a part of this movement? It's easy. Just scan the QR code on your screen right now. That's right. Grab your phone and scan the QR code to join the AMAC and Real America's Voice family today. By scanning the QR code, you'll unlock exclusive content, connect with like-minded Americans, and be first in line for events that celebrate our shared values. So don't wait. Scan the QR code. Join us today and become part of a community that stands for faith, family, and freedom.
Real rights, they come from God.
With AMAC and Real America's Voice. Go ahead. Scan the QR code now.
Just ahead on American Sunrise, another short-term Fisa extension. Congress extended the provision for another 45 days. What will happen next? Plus, the numbers are out. The price tag for U.S. military operations in Iran, it's a high one. How much has it cost you so far? We have the figures. And later, Tim Walz says Minnesota helped uncover the fraud, but his critics say the red flags were there all along. So who's responsible? Who missed the warning signs? We have those stories, so much more as American Sunrise starts this Freedom Friday.
Good morning, America.
Welcome to American Sunrise.
Whether it's culture,
We have breaking news to share with you.
politics, President Trump is joining us live now from Florida.
We've got you covered.
This is what it looks like to be a patriot.
We have to protect the American family.
The American dream is still alive.
I'm David Brody.
I'm Terrance.
And I'm Dr. Gina.
All right, everybody. Good morning. I am Dr. Gina. We are live with you from the Palm Beaches. It is Puppy Friday, but that's not the reason we're bringing in Bo Davidson. He's with me here in the West Palm studio. Terrance Bates is in our Denver newsroom. I'm ready for a Good Friday show, y'all.
Absolutely. I must admit, Dr. Gina, I'm ready for the show to be over so I can start my weekend. But in the meantime, I promise I will put on my best face. I promise you.
And Gina, you did say it's a Puppy Friday, and always Puppy Friday, but you know, your son and I share the same name, and it always bums me out when someone says, "Oh, I've got a dog named Bo." Well, what is that supposed to do for me? What, like, am I supposed to be flattered by that?
It was worse. When my son was born, Barack Obama was shortly thereafter, I believe, president.
Yep.
And they came out with these little dogs that had the name Bo on them.
Yep.
And I went and bought all of them because they B-O. And then someone told me that stood for Barack Obama. I'm like, oh my gosh, I bought my son all these Barack Obama dogs. I didn't even know.
Yeah. Well, that's the price we pay for having that name, I guess.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, look, guys, let's get to a big story of the day. Fisa has now passed. Fox News has this headline, which reads, Congress extends controversial spy law for 45 days after the Senate rejects the House bill. President Trump, of course, expected to sign the Fisa extension at any moment. The Senate rejected some of the House provisions, though. And Dr. Gina, it really comes down to the question of whether this is MAGA or not.
Well, spying on the American people is not something that was exactly on our bingo card when we voted last time out in MAGA world. You know, there are a lot of people in MAGA that will forgive the president because he's done so much that is MAGA, of course. But this is something I'm seeing all over social media. I kind of personally hate it that it's right ahead of the midterms. And I think that that's something that, you know, certainly there are those within the party that are not going to let us forget it if this actually happens. The last thing, many of us feel like the last thing we need right now is more spying on the American citizens by our government, Bo.
Yeah, I agree with that. And this is something called a horseshoe issue. I'd never heard of that. It means that it appeals to both the far right and the far left. So you've got like Wyden on the left, you know, for the Democrat senator, and then you also have Rand Paul, where it unites them. But the way I see it is, I mean, I kind of defer to Pete Hegseth on this. He said some of our most important missions could not have been carried out without this. So when you think about that and how important what we do is in terms of foreign surveillance, I think it's important. And frankly, I mean, I'm all about privacy, but if you're an American talking to a foreign national, what are you talking about? The weather in Tehran? I mean, I'd like to know exactly what you're talking about if you're in conversation with someone that we're spying on. So I'm all for the privacy rights. I just wonder why someone would be talking to someone like that.
Well, I think the whole never let a crisis go to waste comes to mind. They always have a really good reason. Like 9/11 was a really good reason why they eroded our privacy at all new levels. And we still suffer those consequences today. And let me say another thing. This will not be used against the left for talking to foreign agents. This, as nearly as much as this will be used against the right the next time the left has any power at all to throw us in jail, like Tina Peters, who sits in jail today, like all of our J6ers. They'll be using this kind of stuff for that the next time. As somebody who's been on a terror watch list for having done nothing, I'm very leery of any invasion of our privacy in America.
Yeah, we'll continue to talk about this. But in the meantime, Dr. Gina, let's get a quick check of our Bible verse so we can get to our guest.
Yes. All right, today's Bible verse is Luke 12, verses 25 and 26. And which of you, by worrying, can add 1 cubit to his stature? If you then are not able to do the least, why are you anxious for the rest? I love that one. I think it's such a great reassurance when we're in that worry mindset, that is not the nature that God has for us. Let's bring in the host of the Sean Spicer Show. He is spicy. He is the former White House press secretary. He is the author of the new book, Trump 2.0, The Revolution That Will Permanently Transform America. Sean Spicer. And Sean, congrats on the book. We're going to talk about it. Just want to ask you first, yes, a little.
By the way, let Bo Loudon know. I know Bo Davidson was commenting on the just. I know he's got some special personal. I'm going to get him a copy of the book for his wedding. That's nothing says wedding day. Yeah, yeah. I mean, as you can see, that red part of the book, Dr. Gina, was the foreword of the book was written by President Trump. So it's almost like we're coming to the wedding.
Okay, here we just went down a whole avenue. But no, my son Bo is not marrying Sydney Sweeney, and no, my son Bo is not getting married at the moment. My son Jack is getting married, but I will
Jack, sorry, wrong one.
No worries, Sean. I want to ask you right away about this whole Fisa thing. You're in touch with MAGA. You are MAGA. Tell us how is MAGA going to respond? How is the base going to respond to this, and what impact could that have on the midterms?
I think there's a segment of MAGA that's not going to be happy at all. But kind of like Bo Davidson commented a minute ago, like it's one thing to say, you're opposed to it. It's another thing to be in government. And when Bo was referencing, I mean, Secretary Hegseth and others, when you're in office and you actually see the intelligence that it gets and how it keeps us safer, I think sometimes you have a very different view. I'm not making the case for it, but I'm just saying sometimes the seat that you sit in gives you a very different perspective on how you view an issue. I've been at the highest levels of government before, and there's definitely some rewards, but how we balance them. I think one of the mistakes that I've seen in this discussion is that it's not an either or. It's not black and white. There are some ways that we can make sure that the government has the information needed to keep us safe, but also does so in a way that ensures that our privacy is taken into consideration. And I think that's where sometimes these debates miss the mark, is that they're presented as take it or leave it.
I completely agree with you, Sean. And by the way, I am having a baby next week, so if you could send a book my way, that would be much appreciated.
I tell you what, Bo, I have one better for you in the RAV world, because I know how difficult it is to get this. So if you just go to Amazon, order it, I'll send you a signed book plate. If you just email me at contact@Sean Spicer. So I've told this to the whole RAV audience before, but like, people always love signed books. I'm a political hoarder myself. And so if you ever just go to Amazon, send it to contact@Sean Spicer, I'll send you out a free book plate. There you go.
Perfect.
Happy birthday.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Well, to switch subjects a little bit, Sean, President Donald Trump has signed a bill ending a prolonged funding lapse for much of the Department of Homeland Security after more than 10 weeks of disruption. The measure restores funding to key agencies, including TSA and FEMA, after weeks of gridlock in Washington. We all saw that at the airports. Lawmakers say the deal was necessary to reopen critical operations while broader immigration funding negotiations still continue. What are your thoughts on this, Sean?
Mixed. And here's why. The Coast Guard commandant yesterday was talking about how they literally were having trouble keeping lights on at certain Coast Guard stations. This was a travesty that it went on this long. Democrats got away with gambling with our national security. So whether it's Coast Guard, FEMA, Secret Service, CISA, the cybersecurity agency, not funding it for a record amount of time in our history was literally a travesty and disgusting. That being said, the way in which it was done is I'm not a fan of. So just to be clear with your audience, ICE and Border Protection are not funded. They are not funded. Okay. We allowed the Democrats to dictate how this will work. And so they funded DHS minus the immigration agencies. That's not how Washington's supposed to work. It's never worked like this before. You don't get to pick within a department what aspects it does. And I hope to God, Bo, that we remember this going forward and go, okay, the next time that HHS funding comes up, when the Democrats, God forbid, ever control Congress, we go, great, we're not funding any of the agencies that support abortion. So we set a very dangerous precedent doing it this way. So we'll fund the other agencies through the reconciliation process. But this is not how it's supposed to work. This was not a good precedent. And I'm upset that we caved and let it work this way.
Sean, I want to talk specifically about the book. First of all, congratulations again. I'm really looking forward to reading it. The title, Trump 2.0, The Revolution That Will Permanently Transform America. I've got kind of a two-part question, so I want to start with the major takeaways. And then after that, I want to ask you a question about permanently transform America. I've got some questions, but first of all, give us kind of the main takeaways.
So the main takeaway, Terrance, is this, full stop. And I literally had this conversation last week with the president because every president except one beyond Donald Trump in our history who has had 2 terms, they've been sequential. Monday becomes Tuesday, the same chief of staff, the same Treasury secretary. The point that I make in Trump 2.0 is that the reason that Trump has been successful, and some people don't like when I say this, is because he had 4 years out of office. Because he wasn't sequential. They had time to plot. They had time to plan. They got to think about the people they wanted in Trump 2.0, the people they wanted to keep out of Trump 2.0, the policies they wanted to pursue. But all of these things that are happening, whether it's the reforms that Caroline's making in the briefing room, NATO, MAHA, Utah, it doesn't matter. All of the things, you go down, trade, all of these things happened because President Trump and his team had 4 years out of office to plot and plan how they would return to office and how they would reinvigorate the America First agenda going forward. I made this case to the president the other day, and he looked at me and goes, I guess you're right. I mean, it's not good to think, wow, I had to spend 4 years in the wilderness, but it wasn't wasted. And the whole point, Terrance, of Trump 2.0 is to explain what happened in those 4 years. It didn't happen by accident. The America First Policy Institute, Project 2025, America First Legal, all stood up and did amazing work preparing for the return, and it's paying off.
Sean, so I want to get to the permanently transform America part. How do you see this presidency permanently transforming America? And I asked that question. I think it's important for context. I asked that question because the president's executive orders have been great, but they mean nothing if there's a Democrat president who comes in and they're not codified into law.
You just read the last chapter. You gave the Cliff Note version, which is,
okay.
Terrance, you're spot on. If we don't codify some of these things, and some of them were in the big, beautiful bill, but part of the point that I make is exactly what you said. What was done by executive order can get undone by executive order. Now, there are some political things that are very difficult. Like, it would be very hard right now for Democrats to go back to open borders. Not that they couldn't, but President Trump showed that we didn't need new legislation. We needed a new president. That being said, some of the things that they codified in the big, beautiful bill will ensure that the Democrats can't undo them. And also doing some of this funding stuff through reconciliation, as much as I just said I hated it, is an opportunity for them to enshrine some of these wins in law. And that's the key thing. You hit the nail on the head, Terrance, which is we can't just sit back and say, okay, it's all going well. If the President Trump doesn't win the midterms, if the Republicans don't stay in power, Trump 2.0 is going to have a hard time codifying these things in law without a Republican Congress. So just remember exactly what you just said, why everyone needs to go out and say, I got to vote Republican. I got to keep a Republican House and a Republican Senate.
Okay. Will there be Sean Spicer Dancing with the Stars 2.0?
No. There was a reunion in November, which I did go back for. Look, it was 2019, Gina, and I had a struggle then. And now I'm, 6 years older. My hips are both in disrepair. So I think I'll leave book writing to me and dancing to everyone else.
Okay. Well, that's the last time I watched this show, so that tells you.
Thank you.
Sean Spicer, listen, best of luck with the book. I know you're coming to Palm Beach. Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I know you're coming to Palm Beach for a book signing, so everybody's going to want to watch for that. I'm sure you'll be all over the country. We appreciate you being on the show, and we know your book will do really well. Thanks, Sean.
Thanks. And all that information
Sean.
at SeanSpicer.com if you're interested in going to any of these events or buying the book.
There you go. All righty.
Thanks, guys.
Coming up, President Trump is in Florida today, so what can we expect? RAV Chief White House Correspondent Brian Glenn going to break it all down. Also later, Israel intercepts Gaza-bound flotillas. Now the big question, was this a humanitarian mission or a security threat? We have expert analysis. Coming up, it's Freedom Friday on American Sunrise.
Somewhere between this heartbreak tape and Highway 9, I'm gonna have me some fun at the top of my lungs in a little beach town.
Tracy, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
What's our weather story today?
I've got a toolbar working for the touch screen, and there is flash flood warnings in San Antonio.
Okay.
So I'm going to talk about kind of what's going on this morning.
And there's an El Nino and a La Nina.
Yeah, we're kind of in
transition. What is he doing that you really love? What would you want changed? He kind of like...
Hey, Brian T. Bates, can you hear me?
Hey, Terrance. We can talk about social, like
morning.
no tax on Social Security's big. He just did that. Okay. Hey, Terrance.
Hey, good morning, B. We'll be with you in about a minute and a half. Well, probably closer to 2 minutes.
Sounds good. No problem. Yeah, just ask him. How long you been? First Trump rally? No? Second, you're first.
Yes.
What up, YouTube?
Hey, YouTube. So I'm texting Bo that Sean Spicer announced that he's getting married this morning on the show. But we'll be most surprised to learn.
Do you have your dress yet? Have you selected the dress yet, Dr. G?
Okay, so here's what I did. I took a few of the dresses, tried them all on, and got everyone's opinion, and had Jason take some pictures of me in them so I could see myself, like from the back and stuff. Anyway,
This news break is brought to you by AMAC, Association of Mature American Citizens.
Welcome back to American Sunrise. Good morning. I'm Bo Davidson. We have so much more to come here on the show, but first, Terrance Bates is standing by with our next guest, and it's all sponsored by AMAC.
The Association of Mature American Citizens is the conservative voice for Americans 50 and older. AMAC is fighting for the values that you hold dear. Join today. Together, we can write the course of America.
President Trump will be back in Florida this afternoon speaking at the Villages. 47 will address his economic policies and his policies related to seniors. RAV Chief White House Correspondent Brian Glenn already on the ground there at the Villages with the very latest. Brian, good morning to you.
Good morning, Terrance, from sunny Florida. Great to be down here. Left the White House yesterday afternoon, jumped on a plane, landed here in Florida, and we're excited for a rally here today at the Villages. Pre-program starts at 1:30. Trump takes the stage at 3 o'clock, but we've got a massive line, and we'll get to that in just a second. But if you're wondering who is the first person in line today, this is Kim. She lives right down the street. You are person number one in line. Tell us why you decided to come today, and what time did you come? What time did you get in line?
I got in line yesterday afternoon at 3 o'clock, which I was the first one here. And then I wanted to be here because I love what President Trump is doing. He's making our country wonderful. No tax on tips, no tax on Social Security. And there, I'm now there.
I'm right behind you on that. So far, the economic policies are working for you. Bigger tax return, all that stuff.
Yes. Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming.
Very proud of what he's doing.
Yeah. Well, we're proud of you being here, number one. That's great. What's your name? Where are you from?
Caitlin, I'm from Mount Dora. I saw Kim walk up here with her chair, so I got second in line.
Biggest issue for you as a voter is what?
Putting America first. I'm glad that he is able to do that, and we need to come first.
America first. Thank you for coming. How you doing? What's your name? Where you from? I'm coming to you. What's your name?
Catherine. I'm from the Villages.
Number one issue for you?
Protecting our borders and putting America first. Trump does what he says he's going to do, and he's doing what I voted for.
Simple as that. Let's move over here. We're going to try to get as many people. What's your name? Where you from? Front row, Joe.
Greg Reed, St. Petersburg, Florida. Go Trump.
Number one issue for you?
Number one issue? Well, man, you just put me on the spot, Brian. I don't know what to say.
Affordability? I mean,
yeah, affordability. Come on, man. You just put me right.
All right, come on. All right, real quickly before we go, big crowd. Who's looking forward to seeing President Trump today in the Villages? There you go. We've got a ton of people here. Hang on a second. High five. Who are you talking to on the phone right now?
I'm talking to my cousin Frank.
Tell cousin Frank to get his butt down here to the Villages.
Get back down here to the Villages, Frank, right now. This is a happening scene.
Here you go. Hey, President Trump speaks at 3 o'clock. Pre-program at 1:30. We'll have full coverage here on Real America's Voice. Give it up for President Trump here in the Villages. Terrance, back to you.
All right, Brian, appreciate it. All right, folks, we're going to get back to Brian later on throughout the day here on RAV. Make sure you stay tuned for more updates from the Villages there. In the meantime, let's get a quick check of your forecast with Weather Nation's Tracy Anthony. She is joining us with more of what you can expect. Tracy, I will just say, so yesterday I got some much needed rain at my house, and yeah, I'm starting to make your forecast all about me. This morning, though, I came out and my windshield was frozen. Like, it was apparently below freezing, and I had pretty good amount of frost on my windshield this morning. So it's just crazy weather.
Yeah, and it's you and a good majority of the northern half of the lower 48 waking up with some cooler temperatures. So we have widespread frost and freeze advisories that are in place. So we can kind of touch on some of those chilly temperatures. Areas around New York, right around 34 degrees. So we're flirting with those temperatures right around freezing. And we are going to continue to deal with these temperatures right around freezing into the start of the weekend. So it's going to not feel like May. It's feeling a little more like March out there. So we are also tracking a good amount of moisture down across parts of Texas. Areas like San Antonio now under flash flood warnings. So that could be impacting your morning commute. They've picked up 1 to 3 inches of rain overnight, and they're bracing for 2 to 3 more inches of rain. So when the flash flood warning is issued, it means flooding is already occurring. This same area right along I-10 is going to be under the gun for more flooding and strong to severe thunderstorms throughout the remainder of the day, Terrance.
All right, Tracy, thanks so much. And we'll check in with you next hour for our hometown forecast. We'll see you then.
And don't forget to download the Weather Nation app for all of your latest updates, especially when we have severe storms.
Absolutely. Good advice there. Thanks, Trace. Up next, GOP unity on the Iran war. Could some cracks actually be forming these days? We'll have the very latest developments for you. Okay. All right. Hey, Don, Terrance Bates here. Can you hear me? Can you hear us?
Hey, Terrance, I can hear you.
All right, perfect. Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Terrance. This is Don. Hope you're doing well.
I'm doing well. I can't complain. It's Friday. I always seem to do really well on Fridays.
You're getting close, brother. Getting close to the weekend.
There you go. Hey, Dr. G, they cut your mic. You were saying that you've taken the pictures of the dress. Have you chosen?
The dress that I like, nobody else liked.
Oh, really?
Hey, congratulations, Doc. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're so happy for you.
The bachelor and bachelorette party this weekend and the shower, and then 2 weeks is the wedding. So thank you so much. He got himself a good girl, Midwestern girl.
He did.
Yeah.
Hey, Dr. G, is there a registry?
There is.
Would you send it to me, please?
I will.
And I'm not going to choose anything off the registry. I'm going to send something completely out of left field, but
I'm that girl too. Like, I have the hardest time buying on registries for some reason. It just always feels uncreative and impersonal. I don't know.
I'm glad it's not just me. I'm the same way. I'm like, yeah, I know this is what you want, but I want to give you something that's personal.
Yeah.
Welcome back to American Sunrise. GOP unity over the Iran war is showing new fractures as Senator Susan Collins voted with Democrats to halt the conflict, becoming the first Republican to break ranks on the measure. The resolution failed 50-47, with only Collins and Rand Paul joining Democrats, while most Republicans opposed the move. The vote comes as a 60-day war powers deadline approaches, requiring congressional authorization or a wind down of U.S. military action. Let's now bring in former U.S. Navy JAG officer Don Brown. Don, thank you so much for joining us this morning. What do you make of this? And I'd like you to specifically give us some thoughts on Susan Collins' defection. Are we seeing some breaking of the ranks and some fractures now within Republicans, especially in Congress?
Well, thank you, Bo. No, I really, when you look at Susan Collins, she's under a lot of heat in Maine. There's a radical Democrat who has a Nazi tattooed on his arm that the Democrats are jumping behind and putting a lot of pressure on her. She has a history of waffling on the fringe. And of course, Rand Paul is Rand Paul. To me, this does not appear to be a major fracture at all within the Republican ranks. As a matter of fact, I thought my friend Pete Hegseth was outstanding in dressing down some of the Democrats on the House Armed Services Committee the other day when he hit them for calling this a quagmire. But I think there's solidarity among the Republican ranks. I'm not really overly concerned about that. We're a little concerned about gas prices. I know the president is monitoring those really, really closely, but I think right now we're good in the Congress.
I'd like to get your perspective on the administration's argument that this war in Iran is virtually over, given that we're currently in a ceasefire and the ceasefire is holding. And so the argument is, well, we're not really up against that 60-day deadline because there hasn't been any firing since the ceasefire started and the war is virtually over. Are you buying that?
Well, I mean, the military operations are primarily over. We're not hitting them right now. The president may resume. I understand he's considering that now. A naval blockade is in place. The war is not as active or as kinetic as it was back on March 1st, for sure. And of course, there have always been questions about the constitutionality of the War Powers Act, which is where the 60-day deadline comes from. Every president since Nixon, since the act was passed, has challenged its constitutionality. So it's an interesting argument. But I think it's going to be moot anyway, because I think the Republican Congress would extend authorization for military action under it anyway.
Okay.
Well, the Israeli Navy has intercepted more than 20 Gaza-bound flotilla ships carrying about 175 activists. Israel's foreign ministry says the operation was peaceful with no casualties and was needed to prevent a breach of the Gaza blockade. The global flotilla called the interception an act of piracy in international waters. Israel says the flotilla was Hamas-backed provocation, not a humanitarian mission. So what's your take?
Well, the law of the high seas under the United Nations Conference on the Law of the High Seas, although the U.S. is not a member of that, certainly recognizes the right to intercept piracy on the high seas. And I think Israel is well within, its rights under international law if it considers threatened in that situation. And not surprised they're trying to break that. This thing in Hamas has been going on for years, but I think Israel's in pretty solid shape there. You never know what the UN's going to do with Israel. They will, sanction them just for blinking their eye the wrong way. But I think they're on solid ground, Dr. G, internationally.
Don, I want to ask you about just the crisis that we're in terms of gas, so especially the stalemate we're in over the Strait of Hormuz. So how close are we really to choking Iran financially? Because we obviously know, you mentioned the military operations seem to be largely accomplished, but economically speaking, how much longer till we make them cry uncle? And what do you make of the UAE leaving OPEC, and what does that do for oil markets?
Well, first of all, there is a $1 million question. How long is it going to take? Clearly, the blockade is affecting their ability to get their oil out. Apparently, a few ships have slipped by, but it's been largely affected. There's this theory that the whole pipelines are about to bust because they've got no place to ship the oil out. We hope that it's going to be sooner than later. UAE obviously is not happy with OPEC. I don't think that the disintegration of OPEC is a bad thing at all for the United States of America. We'll see how that goes, but I think it's a crack in the armor for sure. But I do believe probably that by the middle or the end of June, this thing is going to be at a resolution, hopefully.
Let's kind of broaden the scope, if you will. Much of our focus, particularly in the media right now, is on the situation there in Iran, but Russia, Ukraine is still ongoing. China is always going to be an actor, a nefarious actor. North Korea also always going to be a nefarious actor. Are we spreading ourselves a little too thin right now, do you think?
Well, Terrance, you've described the old axis of evil, I believe, as George W. was called, or maybe it was Reagan. Are we spreading ourselves too thin? I had an op-ed come out earlier this week about, the U.S. Navy's got to build ships. This is one of the reasons the Secretary of the Navy was relieved, because the president's shipbuilding effort hasn't accelerated like they wanted it to. Right now, we've got about 271, naval combatants on the high seas. China is at 400. We've fallen behind. It's taken us forever to build ships here in the United States. We used to build about 7 ships a week during World War II. Now we're down to it takes us about 5 years to build one. We have to be concerned about that. I believe we are restocking our munitions according to the War Department. So we got to get those cruise missiles and other missiles restocked. But it certainly is a concern. I'm not sure that we have a number of hulls in the water to combat, adversaries on multiple fronts like we did in World War II. We've got to re-expand the size of the Navy for one thing. So I am concerned about that. If something were to break out. On the other hand, Donald Trump is in the White House. China's not going to try anything with Taiwan while Donald Trump's in the White House. And Russia is not going to go any farther than they've already gone, because unlike the Obama and Biden years, we don't have weakness in Pennsylvania Avenue. But beyond that, we gotta look at rebuilding our military short term and long term, and especially the Navy, in my opinion.
So Don, just quickly before we go, I know you mentioned end of June. Do you think we start to see some of these gas prices that are affecting obviously middle and low income Americans by end of June, summer?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. The president is a political genius. We've never really seen anything like him on the American landscape. He understands that going into midterms, you've got to hold the House to avoid frivolous impeachments. Frivolous, and I emphasize that impeachments would come if they take control of the House. And the president is smart enough to understand that gasoline prices are the most visible, sign to Americans as to where we are economically. If we can get these prices back down about $1, I think we'll be in good shape. And the president's going to have to wind it down at some point in order to get us there. And I think that he will. All right, Don Brown. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, sir. Have a great afternoon. Okay. My honor. Thanks, have a great weekend. All right. Coming up, could AI help spot ADHD in kids years earlier? The new tool, the warning signs, and what parents need to know. Next on American Sunrise. Don't go anywhere.
This May 2nd, step into history at Ellis Island, where over 12 million immigrants first set foot on the path to the American dream. Experience an unforgettable evening with exclusive access to the museum, rare artifacts, live entertainment, and a powerful 3-course dinner inside one of the most iconic landmarks in the world. Hear from voices like Glenn Beck as we celebrate the heroes, the heritage, and the future of this great nation. As the night builds, fireworks will light up New York Harbor, honoring 250 years of freedom. And if you can't be there, the RAV team will be there on the ground for full minute-by-minute reporting. One nation, one story, one unforgettable night.
Good morning. Good morning, Liam. Good morning, Liam.
Good morning, Dr. Gina. I'll say good morning for
Thanks,
you.
Terrance. I feel a lot less lonely. Hey, does anybody back there have a caffeine pill I can steal? I don't know how I lost them. They were in my bag. Good morning, Liam.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay.
Is there a caffeine pill in the control room? They're usually in the windowsill. Oh, okay. Thanks, Ben. That's my coffee. Oh, thanks, Ben. Yeah, that's the selfie shot from, well, you know where that is. That's right there on Ellis Island. It's going to be a big event there this weekend. They're in New York. Welcome back to American Sunrise. I'm Dr. G. Thank you for joining us. It is time now for today's health news, sponsored by the Wellness Company. Under the microscope today, an AI tool may help doctors identify children at risk for ADHD years earlier. A new Duke Health study just found the model reviewed electronic health records from more than 140,000 children. So not a small investigation there, right? Researchers say it spotted developmental and behavioral patterns linked to, I'm sorry, I'm laughing just thinking of myself and my poor mom trying to figure out what was wrong with me back then. These are all linked to ADHD diagnoses. The tool was most accurate in children aged 5 and older. Doctors say it's not an AI doctor, but could help flag children for earlier evaluation and support. Also, you might notice many of the AI tools you have out there. I know in particular ChatGPT, although I just switched to Claude. But ChatGPT now has tools for you if you have ADD. It'll shorten the answers, put them in bite-offable bits for you, and all of those things. I would happen to be a professional in this arena. All right, you guys, a groundbreaking study shows there is a safe and inexpensive potential cancer treatment. It's a drug that many of us already know about, ivermectin. This study shows that individuals who took ivermectin, this is, of course, the parasite-fighting medication that gained fame during the COVID era, along with the drug menbendazole, saw remarkable results in their battles with cancer. This incredibly promising result has many Americans wondering where they can obtain U.S.-made ivermectin and menbendazole. That's where the Wellness Company comes in. You see and hear from their doctors all the time on this network, and you know that their products are the gold standard when it comes to keeping you and your family safe and healthy. The Wellness Company is making 100% American-made ivermectin and menbendazole, and they're making it available to RAV viewers at an incredibly affordable price point. Say no to Big Pharma's greed, no to Big Pharma's poisons, yes to a company that you can trust to bring you safe, affordable, effective treatments. If you or somebody you love is interested in trying this combination, go to twc.health/RAV today. Give it an order. That's twc.health/RAV. Use the promo code RAV. It'll save you 10%. All right. Animal rescue groups say they have reached a confidential agreement to buy about 1,500 beagles from Rigland Farms. This is the controversial Wisconsin dog breeding facility we all read about during the Biden era. This place supplies the beagles for experimental research, a lot of it very cruel. This facility drew national attention earlier this month as well. About 1,000 activists tried to enter the property to remove the dogs. Authorities used tear gas and pepper spray against those folks that were trying to help the dogs. The Dane County Sheriff's Department says 29 people were arrested. The dogs are expected to be transported to partner agencies and Big Dog Ranch rescue facilities in Florida and Alabama for medical exams and vaccinations, adoption assessments. Ridgeland Farms has denied mistreating animals, but agreed last year to give up its state breeding license by July 1st as part of a legal agreement resolving animal welfare allegations. I want to bring in the founder of Wilberforce Institute, Liam Gray. Liam, happy to have you on the show. I saw this story and asked to have you on because I think this work is so important. I'm very worried about the really cruel experiments. These aren't, are there ever warranted experiments on animals? Should we be testing drugs on lab rats? I mean, I might argue yes. This is a different thing, isn't it?
Well, I think this is definitely an particularly egregious case. With Ridgeland too, these are dogs that are being bred. These beagles are bred specifically because they're so docile and so gentle, and they're being bred to be sold to mostly government-funded programs like the ones we saw, the infamous Fauci experiments, where you had parasites put on these dogs' faces where they couldn't protect themselves, and the brutality they're receiving at Ridgeland itself is just horrendous.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, what are you hearing? Is it making a difference to have at least a little bit better, more cruelty-free administration in place? Not to be political with you, but are the laws on your side? Is anything helping you? Is anything really changing out there? And where can activists engage if they want to help in their own areas?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually, the Trump administration has been huge on this issue, and we've seen the DOD and the EPA and numerous other agencies start to end animal experimentation altogether since Trump has taken office. We're still working on the NIH. They're making progress, but they're still funding these experiments. Actually, right now, my organization, the Wilberforce Institute, is working with PCRM to end the longest running dog experiments at Wayne State University, which are NIH funded as well. We're working now to see if those are going to be renewed, but haven't gotten a clear answer on that yet. As far as where can people go, we would love to have people come to our site, Wilberforce.institute, and sign up. We're the only conservative animal advocacy organization out there right now. So, we're always finding opportunities for people to get involved and to help animals and cut government and help animals.
Can I ask you something else? This may not be your avenue, but I'm very concerned. I've been seeing on social media the homeless, tent camps that the Democrat policies have not only tolerated but encouraged, really. And I've been seeing that they're testing their drugs, their street drugs, for fentanyl on these poor dogs. They'll keep them in crates, wire crates, that they get sores on their little paw pads and everything, and then they cover them with tarps so that nobody can find them. So they're there in the heat with a lot of times no food, no water, for days on end. And then they're testing their drugs on. They're shooting them up with their street drugs. Is anything being done about this?
I know there is legislation that's being put forward on that right now, but I don't know the specifics of it offhand.
I mean, okay,
but
I'm sorry,
horrendous.
Liam. Legislation? You're going to ask homeless street drug thugs to obey the law?
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, and it's the policies that have led to it that are causing that ultimately. But yeah, and it's that's the sad thing is so much of what we do, dogs and other animals end up paying the cost.
Yeah. Well, I really want to be part of helping with that. I will march my 5'2" frame up in those homeless encampments and take those dogs out. I would do it in a heartbeat if I knew where to go, what group to go with, anything like that. Liam, I love the name of your organization, Wilberforce. Everybody study up on William Wilberforce. He's been a big part of work I've done in my life, too. It's a great name for what you're doing, and I really appreciate what you're doing, and so does Colby. Colby's sitting here beside me because it is Puppy Friday here on the show. Oh. So thank you for being with us. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Thanks. All right, coming up, Governor Tim Walz defending his administration's role in a federal fraud crackdown in Minnesota. Critics say his administration missed warning signs for years. So which is it? Well, we're going to break it down next on American Sunrise.
This Memorial Day weekend, it's more than an event. It's a celebration of the United States of America and the people who love her. Join Real America's Voice and Real America's Music for Celebrate Freedom, a one-of-a-kind live broadcast and concert experience at the iconic Marty B's in Dallas, Texas. From 4 to 9 p.m., patriots from across the country will come together for an unforgettable night, honoring faith, freedom, and the spirit that makes this nation strong. The entire event is live, kicking off with a powerful hour of worship, followed by a national broadcast hosted by Bo Davidson, featuring voices you trust like Ben Berkwa, and building into a full concert experience with performances from Wynn Williams and Ram artist Deepak, Natasha Owen, Celeste Kellogg, and more. This is an American Love Fest, and you are part of the show. Tickets are free, but you must register, and they will go fast. Scan the QR code now to lock in your spot before they're gone. Celebrate Freedom, presented by Patriot Mobile and Preborn. Let's celebrate America together.
Send me that clip if you have it available. Have it available. Okay. Right, Kobe? Right?
True.
Happy Puppy Friday. He's a good boy.
Why do you keep saying live on YouTube?
Because we're live on YouTube.
Like
so
right
on
now?
YouTube right now, they're looking at us. Yeah, wave. Or did we forget to give you the memo?
No one said. Oh, really? Okay. So don't say anything bad, you're saying. Okay.
Stop all that cussing.
No, because I used to be on a show where in breaks they would just continue it with like a handheld, which was cool because you just go straight to social media. But I didn't realize you're doing that now. Okay.
Yeah, just on YouTube.
Okay. Well, hello YouTube. Hello YouTube. I didn't know that.
Terrance forgets and starts dropping F-bombs all the time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Commercial free. Okay.
Say hello to the YouTube world.
I start cursing out the staff here and dropping all kinds of F-bombs. It's pretty embarrassing.
Well, someone's going to have some splaining to do when I'm sitting here with this Red Bull instead of soldier fuel. It's like, why do you keep saying that? Like, are you just saying that for like a joke or what? Well, if anyone's in the chats then, as I'm sitting here asking, how do you pronounce Arabica, I hope you'll tell me because I've got that to say in the next block. Pretty sure it's Arabica, though.
It's Arabica.
Welcome back to American Sunrise. Coffee pods are easy, but most of them are just caffeine and nothing else. Rejuvenate pods are built differently. They're clean Arabica pods infused with CAAKG, a compound linked to longevity, metabolism, and deep cellular energy. It's the easiest way to get better focus, smoother energy, and long-term benefits without changing your routine. Now, I choose them because they match the lifestyle I want, which is more energy, more clarity, and more intention in how I start my day. If you're going to drink coffee anyway, make it one that actually supports the life you're building. Head on over to 1775coffee.com/Rav and try Rejuvenate Pods today. Don't just drink coffee, rejuvenate. And now that we are caffeinated, it's time to stay awake, not woke. And today we are discussing Minnesota. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is defending his administration's handling of fraud after new federal raids connected to publicly funded children's programs. Walz said state agencies helped identify irregular activity and reported it to federal authorities. The Justice Department says federal agents executed 22 search warrants Tuesday as part of an ongoing fraud investigation. Republicans accuse Walz's administration of ignoring warning signs for years, but Walz says joint state and federal investigations are working. Now, we want to know what you think about this. Let us know on YouTube, Rumble, or Getter. Hop on and let that voice be heard. Now, coming up on Sunrise, I interview Dr. Stephen Meyer, who has released a brand new documentary that reveals new scientific discoveries that point toward an intelligent mind, otherwise known as God, as the designer of the universe. Stay tuned.
This Friday, Rav family, it's time to turn it up. Real America's music artists, the Truth Bombers, are back. And this time, it's bigger than ever. The two-time Billboard charting band is releasing their first full-length album, and it's ready to shake the charts. From the group that brought you God, Grit, and Guns, Cancel This, and Truth Bomb, comes a powerful new project packed with 7 unforgettable tracks. This isn't just music, it's a movement. Download it now. Scan the QR code or search Truth Bomb by the Truth Bombers on iTunes. Let's run this up the charts, Rav family, and send a message loud and clear. Patriots control the culture, not the woke left. Go get the album now. Don't miss it.
God, Grit, and Guns.
Hey, Ryan. I'm on live on YouTube. Good. Did I pronounce Arabica correctly? Is Ryan in there yet? Okay, so in G8, it says David brings in Terrance for headlines. That's in the top of the next block. Will it be me needing to cue that, or will he just do it on his own? In G8. Okay, he'll just do it, so I don't need to do it. Okay. This chair is awfully squeaky.
That is a squeaky chair.
I mean, it's awful, isn't it? It's coming through the mic. It's like every time I move. It's crazy. I gotta get some WD-40 on these.
Hey, Bo, when is the baby due? You said here in a couple of weeks. When is it due?
Couple of weeks. No, next week, Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Congratulations. Do you guys know what it is?
Oh, yeah. It's a girl this time around.
You're the best thing.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. She's going to the doctor actually as we speak to do the last
He used to keep him in the
ultrasound
windowsill.
and all that. So, yeah, we're looking forward to it. So, boy and girl.
Very
and that's it.
good.
And then I'm taking myself out of commission.
I hear that. And you probably told me the baby was coming. I just forgot until you mentioned it earlier. I'm like, do you guys have a name already?
We do. I don't know if she's said it to anyone though. So I don't know if I'm supposed to say. I guess I'll have to wait till next week.
We'll leave it there. When the baby comes, you can tell me.
Yeah, but it's we all have the same initials, AB. So I'll give you that hint.
Same with my family.
Yeah.
We're all T's. Like the girls and Tamara, like we're all T's, TB. So same.
There you
go. God bless the USA.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth.
Welcome back to American Sunrise. It's now time for our Moment of Faith, brought to us by Lee Greenwood and the God Bless the USA Bible. And in focus today, a brand new documentary called The Story of Everything, in theaters today. Take a look. I'm joined by Dr. Stephen Meyer, geophysicist, PhD, director of the Discovery Institute's Center for Science and Culture, and writer of the brand new documentary, The Story of Everything, which premieres this week in theaters nationwide. Let's have a quick look at the trailer.
Today, I'm going to tell you a story which may seem very strange.
Galileo, Kepler, Newton.
Each tried to explain events in the history of the universe.
Has the universe always been here, or is it finite?
Is there something else that would lay these questions to rest?
It reopens that question of ultimate meaning.
How in the world did this start?
The simulation theory?
The multiverse. You can't trust what's in front of your eyes.
Come on, that's ridiculous. That belongs in the movies.
Dr. Meyer, thank you so much for joining me. You know, most people have an inner curiosity about the story of everything, of how we got here. But for the better part of a century, many scientists have tried to explain it with a mindless, purposeless process over time. However, it seems that advances in science are actually moving toward intelligent design and not away from it. So what new discoveries have been made that indicate that you display in your film?
Yeah, that's a great question, Bo. Thanks for having me on. The film is actually the story of three great discoveries that are leading scientists to reconsider and even reaffirm belief in God because of, not in spite of, the scientific evidence.
Well, in the film, Doctor, you mentioned several scientists who had theories that they themselves ended up disproving. Einstein, for instance, thought the universe was static. Sandage came around to a theistic viewpoint. Jastrow could not imagine a naturalistic cause for the universe. Dean Kenyon found problems in his own biochemical predestination theory. Many of these scientists had what you might even call a religious conversion. What does that say about scientific bias, or is it simply that their discoveries revealed a truth that they could not ignore?
Well, I think it's the latter, but there has been a bias as well. Since the late 19th century, a kind of rule of reasoning or rule of method became normative in the sciences. And the idea was that if you're going to be a scientist, you must limit yourself to strictly materialistic explanations for everything. Well, that science sounds kind of reasonable because we study the material or the natural world, but it's possible that features of the natural world were the product of a creative intelligence as well as, or undirected materialistic processes. And so we've been arguing that scientists need to be, when they're investigating origins, they need to be open to both possibilities. And if you rule one possibility out of court from the outset, the idea that creative intelligence played a role in developing, for example, the digital code in DNA, you might be terminally barking up the wrong tree, always looking for the wrong kind of answer when the right kind of answer is staring you in the face. If you go to the museum in London, the British Museum, and you encounter the Rosetta Stone, you'll see inscriptions carved in rock. If you apply that rule of we must explain everything materialistically, you'll miss the actual explanation. Those inscriptions didn't come about through wind and erosion. They came about through the activity of an intelligent scribe. They ultimately resulted in the idea of from a mind. So there are certain features of our experience that always arise from intelligent agents. And when we find those in the living world or in the universe itself, it's reasonable to infer that the universe and life also had an intelligent source. And that's one of the key arguments of the film. And that's one of the reasons that the scientists that you mentioned have either changed their minds and become theists, or have changed their minds and become a lot more diffident about their previous theories.
Well, Dr. Meyer, where can people go to get tickets for the film? I want to make sure people understand how they can get tickets because it's in a number of theaters this week, and also more information about you and your pursuit and continued illumination of all these wonderful scientific facts.
People can get tickets at the website thestoryofelverything.film. Thestoryofelverything.film.
Right back with the second hour of American Sunrise in just 2 short minutes. Stick around. Why are we live? Why is it you keep saying we're live on YouTube?
Because we're live on YouTube.
That was pretty funny.
That's okay.
Hey.
What?
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Yes? Yes, Pierce? Oh.
Never mind. False alarm.
Okay. False alarm. The Museum of the Bible was great, though. I will say that.
Okay, no, I haven't seen the
Tracy,
Museum
good
of the
morning.
Bible. Oh,
Great.
I'd really
Hey, good
like to do
morning.
that.
Do we have some hometown forecasts?
Yes, we do.
All right, perfect. We'll see you in just a minute.
Bigger, and it's got the first inscription of God, Jesus Christ, they've ever discovered. Where the word Jesus Christ is mentioned as God.
Very
From
cool.
like the first century, I guess. It was
Yeah.
old, but it's a full floor. It's in pristine condition. Like very, very few nicks in it, and you can see it. It's very, very cool.
Oh, yeah, I need to do that. I every time I'm in D.C., it's like I'm so quick in and
Yeah.
out, you know.
Well, I
hate
guess it
being
was
in DC.
Steve Green is who funded it, of Hobby
Yeah.
Lobby. He's who gave the money for it.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful building. Like, it's a beautiful museum, but it's not free like the Smithsonian's. It costs, but it's good.
Yeah, cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
Were we still live on YouTube? Because I was about to ask a question.
Hey, are we live on YouTube? Why do we keep hearing?
Why do I keep hearing that? Who keeps saying that?
That's a cool picture. Look at that.
Oh, that is nice. Oh, that's very cool.
Coming up, this is the coolest picture ever. I guess you guys know where that is. It's really cool. Pink skies, love it. Coming up on the second hour of American Sunrise, President Trump signs a bill to fund most of the Department of Homeland Security, ending a record 76-day shutdown. But is it really a victory for Republicans? Well, we're going to discuss. Plus, new polling data reveals an overwhelming number of likely American voters consider congressional gerrymandering to be a serious problem. We're going to break down those numbers as redistricting efforts are heating up around the country. Also later, Kentucky Senator Rand Paul has introduced a constitutional amendment to ban birthright citizenship in the country. This comes just ahead of an expected Supreme Court ruling on this matter. We're going to have the latest for you. Those stories, so much more, as the second hour of American Sunrise progresses this Puppy Friday, this Freedom Friday. Let's go.
Good morning, America.
Welcome to American Sunrise.
Whether it's culture,
we have breaking news to share with you.
Politics.
President Trump is joining us live now from Florida.
We've got you covered.
This is what it looks like to be a patriot.
We have to protect the American family.
The American dream is still alive.
I'm David Brody.
I'm Terrance.
And I'm Dr. Gina.
Welcome back to this second hour of American Sunrise. I'm Terrance Bates. I'm in our Denver studios. Let's bring in Dr. Gina and Bo Davidson. They are both in our West Palm Beach studio. By the way, David Brody has the morning off. Guys, during our conversations this morning, I'm realizing that my life is very boring. Bo, you're getting ready to have a new child. Dr. Gina, you're getting ready to go to bachelor and bachelorette parties this weekend. I'm going to be spending the weekend studying for AP exams and realizing that the math my kids are doing is what I call that new math. It's math that I have no idea what it is.
Bo and I just sitting here like, oh.
Well, actually, you know what? This would be a good time, probably, Terrance, from you and from Gina to get a little parenting advice. I'm always open. What do you think?
Parenting
Terrance?
advice.
Run.
Unfortunately, I can't. I can't anymore.
Just never be one of those child-centered parents. That's I think the number one mistake you make. Yes, they are the center of your universe, but to me, life has to function around the adults in the room, not around the children. And when people mix that up, and it's looking back, when people make bad mistakes and their children maybe don't turn out like the parents really deserve for them to because they're good parents, right? That's the one mistake I see, like really good parents making sometimes. And with good motives, good intentions, right? But they just forgot that they were the adults.
That's actually very good advice because honestly, I have been, my wife and I both, we have been those parents. And we realized after many years that we needed to put our marriage, and this is really more of a marriage thing, we needed to put our marriage and our relationship first, even before the kids.
Right.
Because if there was no peace between us and if we weren't in sync, then the rest of the household was out of sync. And so that would probably be my best advice. Make sure that you keep your marriage first and your relationship with your wife first.
Yeah,
that was a mistake mistake. Unfortunately, I had to learn. Yeah, absolutely. I had to learn that the hard way. So.
And however you
don't.
treat your wife is exactly how your daughters are going to expect to be treated.
That's true. That's true. And I also have heard never stop dating your wife either, that you have to set aside time for yourselves. I think both of you are kind of saying that you have to make sure that union is secure, or else, it'll fall apart. So thank
Romance
you guys.
is still a thing, everybody. I've been married how many years? Gosh, 37 years? 36 years? I can't math, but yeah. And
I told you it's that new math I was
it's that
studying
new
for
math.
this
That's
weekend.
right, Terrance. We're back to that beginning of the conversation.
There you go. All right, guys. So look, let's get to a couple of big headlines of the day. After 76 days, the longest shutdown in U.S. government history is finally over. Now that President Trump has signed a funding bill that allocates money for most of the Department of Homeland Security. The Senate-authored measure passed by the House on Thursday does not include funding for ICE and CBP, though. However, critical agencies like the Coast Guard, FEMA, and TSA should now have money to continue operating and paying employees, as temporary emergency funds authorized by the president to fund paychecks in those agencies was set to run out in the coming days. ICE and CBP are expected to be funded through budget reconciliation, which only requires a majority vote in the Senate. Today is also the deadline for President Trump to ask Congress to declare war on Iran. Under the War Powers Resolution of 1973, Congress has to declare war or authorize use of force within 60 days. That would be today. Congress, however, left for a week-long break on Thursday. Plus, the Associated Press is reporting that the Trump administration is arguing that the war in Iran has effectively ended due to the current ceasefire. Weird rumblings coming out of Area 51 this morning, raising questions about the possibility of secret testing there. At least 17 earthquakes have reportedly been detected in the last 24 hours around the top-secret Nevada Air Force Base. One of the quakes reached 4.4 magnitude. The series of quakes has kicked off speculation about possible underground testing in the area, which is widely believed to be home to UFOs and alien experimental aircraft. The fact that the tremors were recorded in an area not typically known for seismic activity is raising even more questions about what's really going on. I'll stay on top of this story for you. Meantime, let's get a quick check of your forecast. Weather Nation meteorologist Tracy Anthony standing by with your hometown forecast. Tracy, good morning.
Hey, Terrance, the plot thickens. I saw that there was earthquakes reported in Nevada. I didn't know it was around Area 51.
Yep, it's around Area 51. So, I've got questions. I am a tinfoil person. I do believe there are probably some UFOs over there or some sort of secret testing. And so I wonder if they're doing some sort of test that's setting off earthquakes. I wonder.
Yeah, that's interesting. Definitely going to have to keep an eye on that story. But jumping into the hometown forecast here, I'm going to go west to east because it kind of makes more sense with the weather story. But start off in Fairfield, Idaho. This coming in off YouTube from Richard Kramer. 66 degrees today. We're still fairly chilly throughout the overnights. We've had a few frost and freeze advisories in effect for this week. But daytime highs will be warming back up to the 70s. And hey, you're staying nice and dry. But look at the Pacific Northwest. Portland, by Sunday, going to be 26 degrees above average. Portland, you're expected to get to 92 degrees on Sunday. Next up is Ashland, Nebraska. Still a quiet weekend here, so not too much rain in the forecast. Temperature is going to be warming, going to get up to 80 degrees by next week. So a little roller coaster temperature-wise here for the first week of May. This coming in from YouTube from Eric, and then going to take you out to north central Georgia or Atlanta. This coming in from Rumble, James Lacey Jr. This is where they desperately need the rain. The state of Georgia is under 100% under drought conditions for the first time since we began monitoring the drought. So moisture in the forecast, that's some good news, but then we do clear out and warm up as temperatures get back into the 80s next week. So I know South Georgia, North Florida, you guys have some rain in the forecast come Saturday. That's going to be much needed for the fires that are burning down there, Terrance.
All right. Thanks so much, Tracy. Always good to see you. And folks, remember, download the Weather Nation app so that you can stay abreast of what's happening in your neighborhood weather-wise. Tracy, we'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend.
You too.
All right. Well, folks, we've been reporting all morning. President Trump signed a bill that was passed unanimously by the House yesterday that would fund most of the Department of Homeland Security. Here was House Speaker Mike Johnson speaking on this issue yesterday.
The net result of passing our reconciliation bill is that ICE and CBP are funded for 3 years, and Democrats got absolutely nothing for their political charade and shenanigans out of that. We repeatedly offered in good faith, I want to point out, remind everybody to negotiate on funding these agencies, but ultimately the sad and actually shocking truth is there's not a Democrat in the House or the Senate that believes border security and immigration enforcement should exist at all.
Joining us now with reaction is former Deputy Press Secretary and former Special Assistant to President Trump, Harrison Fields. Harrison, welcome to the show. Good to see you. We're not hearing you, Harrison. Would you speak again?
It's good to be back. Good morning. Sorry about that.
There we go. No problem. No problem. We've got you. So, look, we just heard Speaker Johnson say that Democrats got absolutely nothing for holding up funding for DHS. Many Americans, though, would argue that now, though, there's even less confidence in Congress to be able to do their job. How do you see all of this yourself now that we finally have DHS funding?
Yeah, well, it's tough for anyone really to have confidence in Congress when there doesn't seem like much goes on. But luckily, we have good leaders like Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, who was able to really call Hakeem Jeffries' bluff and say, OK, you can play your stupid game because guess what? You are going to ultimately win stupid prizes because we got reconciliation. So they did this big charade. Americans all over the country felt the long lines, courtesy of Democrats in Washington. President Trump was, playing another smart game here and saying, guys, let's just pass this bill. We'll fund ICE and CBP through reconciliation. Really, it's a win-win for all, but it's sad that it had to even get this way. But this is what happens when you've got a deranged Democratic Party that hates Trump more than they love our country and our people. And thank God we have Republican leadership in the House and Senate to get the job done, which is why these elections in November are so crucial. Anyone who's thinking about sitting on the sidelines in this election, please think again. You have to vote Republican.
Harrison, I want to get your perspective on what happened last weekend at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. You were there when shots were fired. Tell us about that experience.
Yes, well, it was a very shaking experience. I lived in Washington, D.C. For a year, and I had witnessed a drive-by shooting. So I was very familiar with that level of gunfire, being so close outside of a gun range, a controlled environment. I immediately knew something was wrong. I was sitting towards the back at table 255, never forget that table number, and immediately hit the decks, told people around me to get down. And I come from a law enforcement household, so we kind of know, where our exits are, where to look, what to do in those situations. And what scared me was when I kind of glanced up, the president was still on the stage. But what gave me such hope is that Secret Service ran to his rescue and really were human shields in front of him. This was happening. It seemed so slow at one time, but it really was a matter of minutes between everything was pretty much clear. And again, we thank the Secret Service for their heroic actions. And at the same time, we should also be able to acknowledge that there is room to grow in this situation. From the moment I walked into that hotel, I knew that the security perimeter was not secure enough for even normal folks like me, let alone the President of the United States and nearly the entire cabinet. So I think the Secret Service is going to look back and say, this is where we can improve. But at the end of the day, these men and women are heroes, and we got to thank them for
Harrison,
their service.
I just want to ask,
they did help us.
Why was that? If you noticed it, having your law enforcement background, it's at a hotel. People stay there. Were they not, looked at? Were they not vetted beforehand? I'm just trying to wrap my mind around, because I was covering it at the time, how such a lapse in security could be possible leading up to it.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how the procedures were. I can just tell you that I didn't technically have a ticket. My ticket was with a guest inside the building already, and all I had was a PDF of a reception that I was going to attend. And that got me into the hotel. And when I walked into the hotel, mind you, it was raining, it was just a chaotic entry. There was protesters in the lobby. And one of the first things I asked myself is, how the heck did a protester get into the lobby? Are they not vetting these people? Long story short, I get down to the receptions around cabinet secretaries, around the press secretary, around a lot of different high-level principals, and again, zero checks. Up until I got into the ballroom where the event was happening is where when you went through the magnetometers, and I kind of felt that the security was almost less than what I do to get on an airplane. So I think there's still a lot to learn, but again, the men and women of Secret Service were able to thwart the threat immediately, and we thank them for them. And also, and I'm sure there's a lot of people seeing, the canine dog almost sniffed this guy out. If you go back and watch the video, there was a canine dog that knew that there was something else. Shout out to all our canine dogs out there.
Yeah, and listen, I love the Secret Service. Many of them have become friends of mine because I see them here and whatever. And I don't mean any criticism of them, but Harrison, we've had assassination attempts on our president, multiple. We have a dead martyr in Charlie Kirk. How does this? I mean, I'm sorry. I have no patience with. Oh, oops! Again, like I just don't understand. I don't understand if someone like you, from a law enforcement background, knew walking in. Who is this on? What heads are going to roll for this, Harrison, this time around?
Well, I know the Secret Service's leadership is very strong. The president and the chief of staff, Susie Weil, are big fans of the director of the Secret Service, Sean. But I think there's going to be a whole of government approach between DHS, FBI, DOJ, the White House, and of course, U.S. Secret Service that's going to look at the totality of circumstances and realize that something has to change because first and foremost, we have to protect our president.
Yeah,
Amen to
okay,
that.
shoot.
Amen to that.
I'm bummed we have to wrap because I have more questions.
Go ahead.
Well, the producers are telling me I have to wrap, though, Terrance. But Harrison, we'll have to have you back because you know what I want to delve into is why couldn't you just make a call, maybe, to the president or one of his people and say, and I also want to ask you what your advice would be for our audience when they walk into a room like that. You were mentioning know where the exits are, those kinds of things. So I want to have you back sometime and talk about some of the stuff that we can do just when we are in these situations, like even a movie theater or church these days can be a dangerous place to be. So
yeah,
we'll
I was raised by New York's finest, so the NYPD raised me. So I'll be happy to tell you everything my mom and grandfather taught me what to do.
Good. We'll have you back, bud. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Take care.
Harrison, good to see you, brother. Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. God bless you, and congrats on the new baby.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Harrison.
Yeah.
All right, take care. We're back with more American Sunrise in just a couple of minutes. Okay, coolio. Ay, what a day.
What's up? I got it. It's all good. We just need this part.
Well, now I have that hog backstrap all thawed, so I think you should refreeze the haggis. Refreeze the haggis. That's the phrase of the day. My Scottish husband loves haggis.
What is haggis?
Is it
Haggis,
good? It sounds
sheep gut, right? Sheep gut
Really?
with like oatmeal. It's so good, though. Oh my gosh, I love haggis.
Never had it.
It's Scottish, traditional
I'm
Scottish.
and I didn't even know about it.
Have you been to Scotland? No. Oh, well,
No,
I was like, then you would know.
23andMe told me that.
Oh. Well, if it'll make you feel like a man, it'll make you want to run around in a skirt. With
Okay,
no
no
underwear.
problem. I got a little worried. I was like, I hope everything's okay. I just happened to see it. You guys all right?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Ass feet, that's okay. I just got long ass legs.
Yeah. I
Okay,
have
no problem.
I have really pretty much no legs, so.
More? Okay. That good?
What did you guys have?
I'm gonna sit on Colby's tail.
Behold the haggis.
Oh, I don't have this in. No wonder. Huh? Are we live on YouTube?
all right. This is your single shot right here.
This is Paris, France. This is New York. Bo and I are just laughing because the producers are like, this is New York? Like as if we didn't know that. Welcome back to American Sunrise, Real America's Voice. Getting ready for a major Memorial Day weekend event, live celebration, faith, freedom, family, country. The network is hosting Celebrate Freedom at Marty B's in Texas. This is a free live broadcast and concert experience. This will feature worship music, audience interaction, performances from Real America's music artists, including Natasha Owens, Deepak, and Celeste Kellogg. Here's a short preview.
This Memorial Day weekend, it's more than an event. It's a celebration of the United States of America and the people who love her. Join Real America's Voice and Real America's Music for Celebrate Freedom, a one-of-a-kind live broadcast and concert experience at the iconic Marty B's in Dallas, Texas. From 4 to 9 p.m., patriots from across the country will come together for an unforgettable night, honoring faith, freedom, and the spirit that makes this nation strong. The entire event is live, kicking off with a powerful hour of worship, followed by a national broadcast hosted by Bo Davidson, featuring voices you trust like Ben Burkwa, and building into a full concert experience with performances from Wynn Williams and Ram artist Deepak, Natasha Owens, Celeste Kellogg, and more. This is an American love fest, and you are part of the show. Tickets are free, but you must register, and they will go fast. Scan the QR code now to lock in your spot before they're gone. Celebrate Freedom, presented by Patriot Mobile and Preborn. Let's celebrate America together.
Our own RAV correspondent Bo Davidson will be there covering the event on the ground. And Bo joins us now. Bo, you spell your name wrong, but I love you anyway. Tell us about this event. This looks like a lot of fun. I'm really kind of jealous.
Yeah.
I'm jealous of you for a lot of things today. I want a baby, and I really want to go to this event.
And we have the same name as your son with the different spelling.
Yes.
So even though it can be spelled like a dog, too, apparently. So, so it's May 24th on Sunday, which is the Sunday of Memorial Day. I'll be there, and we've got Deepak, Natasha Owens. So you remember what we did at CPAC when we hosted that entertainment hour for 2 days?
Yes.
That was kind of gave us the idea, hey, we can do a standalone concert.
Yes.
And so Real America's Music, which you've obviously, all of you that are watching have been seeing different artists, whether it's Natasha Owens, Deepak, Celeste Kellogg, and you've been seeing the great music that has been put out. So we're hosting kind of a standalone concert at Marty B's in the Dallas, Texas area, which I think will be great for Memorial Day. And it's just going to be kind of a showcase of freedom. Obviously, we want to celebrate. We're in America's 250th birthday, obviously, which I think is great. So it's just a great way, I think, that Real America's Voice and Real America's Music are now working in tandem to produce something pretty special.
I love it. And a big shout out and kudos to Zen Jr. Parker, who has really birthed and given life to this whole Real America's Music thing. But it's really exciting, and we're doing things that really no other network has ever done.
Yeah, and when you think about Billboard charts, how difficult it is to get a #1, and you think about the J6 Prison Choir and what we did with that, it's pretty amazing to establish music in such an amazing way in terms of being able to have such success with it. I think you're going to see a lot more to come with different artists that are being released. There's a lot more to come. It's just, I find it amazing as a musician who came to this business and thinking the kind of two were separate, and they're really not. I mean, those who are here watching this channel are obviously fans of any sort of music that promotes patriotism, freedom, culture, and this is kind of taking back that culture, Dr. G. So I think it's a brilliant way of just combining two passions that everyone here already has.
Yeah. Andrew Breitbart said culture is upstream of politics, and we are absolutely on the edge of that sword. Bo Davidson, thank you so much. Congrats on the baby. And there's more American Sunrise right on the way. Stay with us.
I'm back to the desk.
Also, like, I think Eric broke.
Oh, did he?
Because he
The
pushed the highest it can go to his knees.
Okay, coolio, thank you. Okay. Hey, Tina, good morning. Terrance Bates here. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Doing all right. And you do pronounce the last name Descovich, correct?
You got it.
Gotcha. I just wanted to make sure. I'd hate to get into the segment and mispronounce your name and then you'd be mad at me for the entire segment.
Oh, everybody does. I am A-okay with it.
All right. Stand by. We're about a minute away.
Okay.
Okie doke.
Jersey. This is Wildwood, New Jersey. Good morning to all of you who are waking up in New Jersey. We'll tell you momentarily why we're focusing on this part of the country. Welcome back to Real America's Voice and not America's Voice Live, to American Sunrise. That's how many shows I do. We're getting ready for the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. It's set to ring here in just a few minutes. Here's a quick look at the futures trading markets. As you can see, it's green almost from top to bottom, looking pretty good at the moment. Again, we'll take you to the opening bell at the stock exchange here in short order. In the meantime, we want to tell you about a huge event that Real America's Voice is partnering with Moms for Liberty for. It's a major event that's going to happen tomorrow at one of America's most historic landmarks, which would be Ellis Island. The event is going to celebrate America's 250th anniversary, bringing attendees to the iconic immigration station that, of course, welcomed more than 12 million people into the United States over the last century. Check it out.
This May 2nd, step into history at Ellis Island, where over 12 million immigrants first set foot on the path to the American dream. Experience an unforgettable evening with exclusive access to the museum, rare artifacts, live entertainment, and a powerful three-course dinner inside one of the most iconic landmarks in the world. Hear from voices like Glenn Beck as we celebrate the heroes, the heritage, and the future of this great nation. As the night builds, fireworks will light up New York Harbor, honoring 250 years of freedom. And if you can't be there, the RAV team will be there on the ground for full minute-by-minute reporting. One nation, one story, one unforgettable night.
Joining me now with the preview of this historic event is Moms for Liberty co-founder Tina Descovich. Tina, good morning.
Good morning. It's great to be with you today.
It is so good to have you. You know, we often hear that we are a nation of immigrants, and so it seems appropriate that as we celebrate the 250th anniversary of this country, that we also go to where this American experience and American experiment started for many people.
I think there's no better place to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States than Ellis Island. Almost all of my ancestors came through Ellis Island, and most Americans can trace one branch or another through someone that came through Ellis Island. And so we are just so excited. I'm here almost on Wall Street right now, down by Battery Park, and the energy for our event tomorrow night is just building.
Describe what to expect.
Yeah, I think we've left no detail unturned. We've hired period actors to perform as you're entering the island. We'll depart from Battery Park. We'll take everybody by the Statue of Liberty. Obviously, your announcement just said we're going to have a formal dinner. We're going to hear from Glenn Beck, Tim and David Barton, several other speakers from DC and other areas talking about the American dream, really inspiring us to continue to achieve and grow this country into everything that the founders intended it to be. After the inside portion and the dinner, we actually are going to go outside and have performances from Mary Milben. Earlier in the evening, we'll have the national anthem by Natasha Owens, and then we're going to have fireworks over the Statue of Liberty, followed by an after party with live music and a band right there on the island. So it's going to be a full night of events.
You know, as I'm listening to your description, I almost get the sense that this is a rededication to what makes America great.
I would agree with that 100%. The whole idea when I came up with it was to really celebrate the American dream. When I look at my ancestors that came through right here in Ellis Island and settled just a few blocks from where I am in tenement buildings and other places, I look at their story. They were not wealthy. In their former countries, on their censuses, they were peasants. And now look at where I am, you know, an educated American. And it's because of the decisions that they made generation after generation to build the American dream that my life is just so blessed. And I want to pay tribute to that.
You know what? Let me get a little personal then. What is your American dream? You've said several times so far that this is really about paying homage, if you will, to the American dream. So, from a personal perspective, what is your American dream? And for your kids or for family that comes after you, how would you like them to envision their American dream, if that makes sense?
Yeah, if I may, I am the first high school graduate, let alone college graduate in my family. And so my trajectory may not have looked so good early on in my life. And centuries ago in other countries, there was no ability for me to break out of that. But that's not how I live today. Through hard work, education, and opportunity in America, I've been able to advance, and my children are now very blessed. You know, that my youngest son has lived in the same home his whole life, where I look back at my life, where I moved around every year to year growing up. Such a change from my life to their life. And then, so what I want for their kids, obviously, is even one step better. Maybe they will be even more educated. Maybe they will, you know, even do more to help save our country and preserve freedom for the future.
As I listen to you, I'm reminded that even though we might have cultural differences and our families and generations may have come from different places, one of the things that is so common and that unites us is this will to do better, to take the legacy of what one group has done and advance it. And that's something that I think is also part of the American dream. Tina, always good to see you. Thanks so much, and wonderful. Have a wonderful event tomorrow. Wishing you all the best.
Thank you. We are excited.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. And we, of course, are partnering with you and looking forward to airing it here on Real America's Voice. All right, folks, let's get ready for the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. It's sponsored by AMAC.
The Association of Mature American Citizens is the conservative voice for Americans 50 and older. AMAC is fighting for the values that you hold dear. Join today. Together, we can write the course of America.
All right, we're getting ready for the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. It's set to ring quite literally at any moment now, and we're going to take you there live so that you can hear it, and we'll also give you an idea of how the markets are looking. You saw pre-market trading just a little while ago, and it was kind of a mixed bag. For the most part, the major indices were in the green, but there were a couple of red spots, meaning that there were some indices and some commodities that were down. The applause is actually underway at the New York Stock Exchange, which means we're moments away from the opening bell. And then we'll get an idea of how this final day of trading of the week actually is going to shape up. KKR 50 there at the podium right now. And again, the opening bell is set to ring here quite literally at any moment. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The markets are now officially open. The first trades are being entered, and here's how the markets are looking. The Dow, S&P 500, and the NASDAQ all in the green. That's good news. The bottom of our screen, though, in the red, including crude oil, it is down, even though crude oil had been at a pretty significant high, over $120 a barrel earlier this week. So a lot of people breathing a sigh of relief that oil is down. We'll continue to monitor all of this for you, though, through the rest of the day. And if there's anything significant to report, we'll tell you about it. When there are supply constraints on commodities, prices tend to surge. You, of course, saw it with fuel prices that I was just talking about when the Strait of Hormuz was blockaded. And you also know what else is a limited commodity. That would be gold. They mine it out of the ground, and when it's gone, well, it's gone. Governments can't just print more of it, and that's why everyone from central banks to savvy savers are diversifying with gold. If you've been thinking, about it for years, but you still haven't made the move, you still haven't made the move to move some of your savings into physical gold, the Birch Gold Group is who we trust here at Real America's Voice to help you. Now through May 29th, the Birch Gold Group is giving a first-time gold buyer a rebate on up to $10,000 on qualifying purchases. For details and for free information on diversifying into gold, simply text the word America to the number 989898. The Birch Gold Group can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold. Again, simply text the word America to the number 989898 to see if you qualify for a first-time gold buyer rebate of up to $10,000. You can get this deal simply by texting the word America to the number 989898 today. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back here on American Sunrise, new polling data shows an overwhelming majority of American voters see gerrymandering or congressional districts as a very serious problem. We'll break down the numbers for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Donna, Donna, Donna.
Yo, gang. Yo, gang.
How you, sister?
Hanging in there. I'm going to send you something that has to do with what you talked about earlier with the dogs out in L.A. I was going to send it to you last night, but it was too late. I figured you were sleeping.
You can. I'm in all hours of the. You can text me anytime.
It's kind of the way I am, too. It's like 2 a.m. and I'm still up.
Well, and I keep my phone on vibrate all the time since I do TV and I'm ADD and I'm too dumb to remember to turn off my thing. So I keep it on vibrate all the time, usually in my hand. Even while I'm sleeping, I'm like, here I am with it in my hand. The best one, though, is when you fall asleep at night and drop your phone.
I know. I'll tell you, we started sleeping with Puppy Bannon when he was like, 10 pounds.
Yeah. Oh.
Now it's 65 pounds. I can't sleep because he's all over the bed. He takes up my whole side of the bed.
Welcome back to American Sunrise. I'm Dr. G. We are happy that you joined us this morning. Don't forget, join us in our chats. We have so much fun in there, especially the one on YouTube. I'm telling you what, this one is winning me over. I didn't think I'd ever like anything better than our Getter chat because it's just like part of my heart, like all the best patriots right there. Some of them have flipped over to the YouTube, though. You can write a little longer. I like it a lot. YouTube, Getter, and Rumble, those are the places to find us. And we stay live during the commercials, which is really fun on YouTube. Now it is time to take the political pulse of America. Here is the beat for today. As redistricting battles heat up across the country, a new poll shows most Americans think gerrymandering is a serious threat. According to Rasmussen reports, more than 8 in 10 voters say it is a problem when states draw congressional districts just to benefit one political party or the other, with the majority calling it a very serious issue. These findings come as both Republicans and Democrats are engaged in high-stakes redistricting fights just ahead of the 2026 midterms. This includes legal showdowns in states like Florida, Texas, and Virginia. While both parties accuse the other of rigging maps for political gain, the poll suggests voters are frustrated. They just don't like the system. Many believe priorities are power over fair representation. Joining us now with analysis is the co-host of Cowboy Logic. There's so much logic going on here, Donna Fiducia. Good morning, Donna.
Good
Hey,
morning,
Donna.
guys. Boy, we do need cowboy logic, don't we? I mean, this is just ridiculous. It's almost as popular, or I should say unpopular, as the SAVE Act is popular. Like something like 88% of Democrats and Republicans are saying this whole gerrymandering thing is ridiculous. So what does Congress do? Goes on vacation for another week. This is so frustrating to both Republicans and Democrats. Let's look at this poll. Republicans, 52% say Democrats are more likely to gerrymander. Democrats say 47%. Independents are between 30 and 36, all the way down the line. So the legal challenges have blocked Virginia for now. Now, Virginia was ridiculous. Virginia looked like a lobster. Have you seen the video or the graphic of the Virginia gerrymandering? All it was to try to give a 10-1, if even that, or 11-0 for the Democrats. That's not going to work. But this partisan gerrymandering really has people worried on both sides. And I can't disagree. The districts look like blood clots from the vax. I'm sorry. In New York, they had one that was stretched across the East River into Brooklyn and Queens. I mean, come on. It's just ridiculous. 65% say this is a very serious problem. Now, look what's happening in Florida. Apparently, redistricting there was approved very quickly. Louisiana is postponing their midterms. That's going to be the issue now. If you change around this gerrymandering, are you going to do it in time for the midterms? And so far, that might happen here in Georgia. We're hoping Governor Kemp does the right thing, but that's doubtful.
Yeah,
but Louisiana.
Donna, you mentioned, just to follow up, you mentioned how important it is for these legislatures to come together now that we have Supreme Court rulings in our favor to not make this a racial situation, right? And yet these legislatures are saying, oh, well, we can't because we're on vacation.
Yeah. I think Donald Trump can call them back. I don't understand. The one thing Trump gets, he's just too nice to him. He really is. Yesterday, he even said that, John Thune was doing a good job. Come on. Seriously? Your recess appointments are being blocked 100%. That's never happened with the party in power for that president in history. It's so ridiculous what's going on. It's so frustrating. If you go on social media anywhere, all you see is pass the damn SAVE Act. Pass it, pass it, pass it. And it's both Republicans and Democrats want this. If we don't have secure elections, we don't have a country. In Virginia, the mail-in ballots were so fraudulent. It was like 72% Democrat to 20%. But if you looked at the actual people who voted, it was very close. So the problem is these mail-in ballots. California does mass mail-in ballots to everybody. I think, Dr. Gina, you get 2 or 3 still, and you haven't lived there in decades. Yeah. I mean, if we don't pass this Save America Act, I really think, quite honestly, I'm going to come out and say it. These people, Republicans and Democrats, many of these congressmen and senators know if we have this passed, they probably never were elected. I think that's the big problem. They're in CYA mode, and it's disgusting.
Yeah,
there
absolutely.
I said, boy, I gotta tell you, I love these Friday therapeutic sessions because it builds up in me all week. And it's so ridiculous. Stop the mail-in voting. You can't vote your way out of communism, folks. If we don't fix this, we are screwed in the fall. With the midterms.
You get to get it all off your chest here and you don't have to pay a copay. Yeah, best of both worlds, right? All right, so I want to move on a little bit to the debate on birthright citizenship. Yesterday, in fact, Kentucky Senator Rand Paul introduced this constitutional amendment that would ultimately end birthright citizenship. All of this, of course, coming ahead of an expected Supreme Court ruling on President Trump's executive order relative to birthright citizenship. Taking to X, Senator Paul writing, "We are a country filled with immigrants and legal immigration is valuable and should be protected, but we are also a country whose borders have been too open and our generosity exploited too often as well." So what do you make
Senator.
of this? Do you think it's exactly, and it's coming from Rand Paul of all people. Do you think this is going to get any traction?
That's what I was saying. Of all people, Rand Paul, I don't agree with him in a whole lot lately, but he might have some forethought on this one. And I got to be honest with you again. You've got Norm Eisen, the anti-Trump lawyer, super lawyer, who was the ambassador to the Czech Republic. And who did he have visiting him for weeks and staying in his castle? Well, none other than Chief Justice John Roberts. I'm sorry, I just don't trust the Supreme Court even anymore. Look what they did with the tariffs, which was a no-brainer. You're going to have something very close here because you obviously have 3 Democrats that are going to go one way, one way, and that's it. And so I think Rand Paul has some forethought here because God forbid they allow this birthright citizenship to stick. We are really, the Chinese, they come here, they have the kids, they go home. This guy, Hassan Piker, that we talked about last week, he was born in New Jersey, but he was raised in Turkey. He's a Muslim. He comes back, he goes to Rutgers University, and now he's spewing anti-American rhetoric. Rand Paul said it's not the intent of the 14th Amendment, and I agree with him. So, when you say subject to the jurisdiction thereof, in other words, whatever your parents are is what you should be. When you're born, you can't say you want to be a citizen. So if your parents are Chinese or whatever, you need to go back. Yep. I don't see, it's actual national suicide to think otherwise. So if we could have a constitutional amendment, which would be tough to pass, I think this could overrule it if SCOTUS goes the wrong way.
Yeah, Don, and so many people that come here, unfortunately, don't assimilate. They don't take on American values and ideals, which is obviously part of the problem. Let's move on to the mystery of the missing scientist, Donna. Yesterday, FBI Director Kash Patel said the Bureau is set to produce a, quote, final report on the matter in short order. As you know, at least 11 top researchers connected to classified space and nuclear programs have seemingly vanished. What are you expecting to come out of all this?
Well, Kash Patel is looking into it. The White House wants the FBI to review it. I don't know. It does seem kind of weird, but there are a whole lot of scientists, involved in these organizations. So maybe that's just a small amount, but it doesn't seem like that. It's a large number, and are they connected? Who knows? The question is, were they all working on the same things? Kash poured cold water on all that in the theory that all cases were linked, but some individuals weren't even scientists. So the final report is due out soon, as you said there, Bo, but the FBI would not say how much they're going to make it public, which again makes me go, I wonder about that. There are at least 12 cases of scientists, engineers, and defense personnel, accidental deaths, car accidents, suicides, homicides. I mean, you've got a lot of people saying, hey, I'm not suicidal, and then all of a sudden they supposedly commit suicide. So we'll see what Kash Patel comes up with. Unfortunately, I don't know.
I don't know why in the world
FBI to move a little faster on a lot of things.
Why in the world they're telling us ahead of time that we're not going to get the full report? I'm like, wait, what? What?
I know.
Good grief. Donna, your co-host Don Newen is set to release a new song for Real America's Music.
Co-host in life.
Co-host in life.
My co-host in life. Hey, Newen is a palindrome. It's spelled the same forwards and backwards. Isn't that cool?
Oh, that is cool.
Neuen. So that's, yes, Newen is what Don is calling his music. Obviously, it's his last name. But we have a song coming up for what we call Memorial May. We've worked with Carry the Load for a number of years, and that's what they've always referred to it. Who were you carrying? What brothers and sisters did you know when you served that you're carrying? So every star, every stripe, Real America's Music Distribution. This is our first release under Newen, Neuen. It's going to be out for distribution on May 8th. And what I'm really happy about is Don is getting back to writing and recording something, that really is his main thing. Yeah. And so available everywhere for download and streaming on May 8th. And we have been playing little snippets of it on Cowboy Logic as well. So we hope you guys tune in.
Yes.
And listen.
And wear your cowboy hats. Because if you don't, Don will bring you a cowboy hat and put it on your head. That's what he did to me. Donna Fiducia, congratulations on that. Big hugs to you and Don. Thanks for being with us. Have a great weekend.
We'll see you this weekend in the barn party. Bye-bye.
Absolutely. All right, before we go to break, I want to change gears, talk about Medicare, because a lot of folks not getting the full story. Most Medicare agents push Medicare Advantage plans, even when they're not the right ones for you. Why? Because, well, that's where the money is for them. But seniors are the ones paying the price. That's what makes Chapter different. They walk you through original Medicare, Medigap, Medicare Advantage with the Part D and the pros and the cons all laid out for you so you can make the right call for your specific healthcare needs. Donna said this is not Donna Fiducia. Well, we don't know. It could be. Anyway, she said that her Chapter advisor walked her through every option and explained everything in a way she could actually understand. Plus, they saved her thousands of dollars. So that's something. If you are on Medicare or will be soon, call 843-MED-HELP. That's 843-MED-HELP to learn about enrollment options and find ways to save. It is free, it is quick, and they can review your options in under 20 minutes, just like that. Most people wish they'd called sooner. Coming up, we're hearing from you. That's you, our RAV viewers. The RAV Chat Report is next. You won't want to miss this. Puppy Friday, Freedom Friday, so much more to come. Don't go away.
This Friday, RAV family, it's time to turn it up. Real America's music artists, the Truth Bombers, are back. And this time, it's bigger than ever. The two-time Billboard charting band is releasing their first full-length album, and it's ready to shake the charts. From the group that brought you God, Grit, and Guns, Cancel This, and Truth Bomb, comes a powerful new project packed with 7 unforgettable tracks. This isn't just music, it's a movement. Download it now. Scan the QR code or search Truth Bomb by the Truth Bombers on iTunes. Let's run this up the charts, RAV family, and send a message loud and clear. Patriots control the culture, not the woke left. Go get the album now. Don't miss it. God, Grit, and Guns.
T. Bates, good morning. It's completely risk-free. If you don't love at least 3 of. All right, let's get into what's in the cup today, and that would be you, our reviewers, joining on. T. Bates, good morning. How you doing?
I am doing well, sir. And yourself?
I'm doing all right. I thought of you during the draft when the Saints came up. I was like, I hope he's happy.
Oh, well, you know, we look forward to half a season, and we don't look forward to half a season. So,
oh, trust me, I get it. As a Bears fan, I'm like, okay, will we have a season this season, or will it be over after Game 4?
Well, the Bears always have a great playoff game if it's against the Saints, and it knocks me out of contention. So thanks a lot for that.
Roll Tide.
Oh, Dr. Gina.
Roll Tide.
Go Bills.
See, here we go.
Oh, gosh, the Jets.
Now everyone's just yelling out their team.
It's our one opportunity for the year.
Absolutely. Oh, my goodness. Ryan, don't do that to yourself. Don't do that. Don't fall into the Pierce trap. Don't fall into the Pierce trap, Ryan. Don't do it.
Let's spill some tea.
Let's Spill Some Tea is sponsored by Artillery Tea Company. Right now, they've put together a special Patriot Starter Kit just for RAV viewers. It's only $29.95 and it has free shipping. You'll get 5 premium sample packs of their top 5 flavors. It will be Morning Moab, which is their #1 bestseller, Gadsden Green, Gunpowder Green, Howitzer Heavy, and Rack Out Remedy. That's over 30 servings so that you can try some of their best teas and find your favorite. Every kit helps support veterans and first responders, and it's completely risk-free. If you don't love at least 3 of the flavors, you can get a full refund and keep the samples. Grab yours right now by heading over to artillerytco.com/patriot. This special offer, by the way, is limited, so don't wait. Go on over to the website now and place your order. All right, let's get right into what's in the cup today, and that would be you, our RAV viewers. Joining me now with the RAV Chat Room Report is RAV family member and chat room dweller, Carefree Largo. Care, it is always good to see you. Take it away, my friend.
Well, good morning, sir. It's been quite a while. It's great to see you, Terrance.
Likewise. I would ask you how things are in Ocala, but we had our forecast just a little while ago, and so I suspect you might be getting a little bit of rain down there in Ocala. See, I know you that well and know where you live. I'm not going to yell out your address, but know where you live and all that stuff, brother. Good morning.
It doesn't count until you come to see me, my friend.
Okay.
Look, I wanted to let you know that this week, since it's been a while, we went directly to the Ravagers and to everyone in social media, especially our Rav ambassador group. And I asked them a very simple question. What are your thoughts, your feelings toward the latest assassination attempt toward President Trump? Our very favorite president, as he would say. And the responses were interesting. Tina from Texas, who is always in the chat, says, while this latest attempt did give me big-time Butler vibes, I continue to pray for President Trump, for his family, his team, as it seems these lunatics are not going to stop. We have to cover them in prayer. And from my perspective, I've got to tell you, that is the only thing that we can do that will be of any consequence at all. And Conserve Forever said the security there was absolutely abysmal. And I know there's a lot of different thoughts on that. The president himself said that he thought they reacted in great time. For those of us that were watching it on Rav, we agree with Conserve. We thought that it could have been better. Diane Rapp allowed this. The Secret Service needs to rethink their tactics. We haven't seen this under most presidents. And, you know, I think that she is absolutely right. We moved from that, Terrance, over to one of my favorite topics, which is the former director of the FBI, James Comey. He's once again indicted. And this is how the Rav chat family felt about that. Oklahoma 1946 says, why isn't he already in prison? And I think, you know, I put that one particular person up there because about 85% of the people across social media asked the exact same thing. K-Mac said, I think they're going to use the 8647 thing to open up discovery. And I think that might be a great point to get him in, get him under oath, bring up the discovery of everything that they have against the man and see if something can actually happen. I will say this, across social media, Terrance, most people still have a wait, watch, and see attitude. We want justice, but you have to admit we've kind of been let down a little bit in the past when it comes to people getting the handcuffs and the perp walks. And this weekend would be a great time to see one as far as we're concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. Carefree, always good to see you, my friend. Ocala, Florida's favorite son, Carefree Largo. Appreciate you, my brother.
Hey, thank you so much for having us. And remember, you're never completely dressed until you put on a smile. Remember, God loves you.
Absolutely. God does love you. And here's my smile for you. Thanks, Carefree. We'll talk to you soon. All right, folks, it is Puppy Friday. Tommy Habib, standing by with the rescue of the week. You definitely don't want to miss it.
They hate the questions, hate the doubt, love the power, love control. They call it peace, they call it help. Funny how.
Okay.
Okay.
Tommy!
Hey, Dr. Gina. How are you?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm so bummed I missed you at CPAC, but I met your daughter. What a sweetheart.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I think they said you were feeling bad one day when I was there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that first day was not a good one. But yeah, no, she told me all about you. She is crazy about you.
Sweet. She is just a, pretty dynamic lady. You did well.
Thank you.
Takes after her mom.
Thank you so much.
You have my friend Kobe with you?
I do. Kobe, you better wake up. It's time for your cameo. Look at him. He's like, Mom, let me sleep, Mom. You gotta wake up. You're the laziest he's not a morning dog. We're showing all these places this morning that you can't identify because no one knows what they are, like the Statue of Liberty and the White House. Washington, D.C. there this morning, looking spectacular. Welcome back to American Sunrise. It is Friday, and you know what that means. It means Colby is having a bad hair day, and he really just wants to sleep, but his mom won't let him. Puppy Friday, today we're putting the spotlight on some real heroes, the team from To the Rescue, who work every day to help dogs like you, Colby, find loving forever homes. Joining us now, our good friend Tommy Hubby. Colby, I have to talk. You can't kiss me while I'm talking. Shh. Host of To the Rescue, Tommy, we love what you're doing. Tell us all about this incredible adoption effort and how To the Rescue is changing lives, one wagging tail and tongue at a time.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Hey, Kobe, you sweet pup. He looks, he's just loving on mama this morning. It's so sweet.
Lots of kisses.
So listen, we had a great week and we got to feed. We did Feed the Shelters program from To the Rescue, and we fed over I think 3,000 dogs this week. It was pretty sweet. But most important, I want to introduce you guys to Bullwinkle. I hope you have a shot of Bullwinkle. There's Bullwinkle.
He is.
Sweet Bullwinkle, a lab mix. Now, this sweet pup, he is 2 years old, and he is almost 90 pounds of pure love.
Oh.
And he is so sweet, and we really want to get him adopted today if we can.
Let's do it.
And if you adopt him, To the Rescue and Texas State Brazil is going to pay for all the adoption fees. So you guys, if you're looking for a pup, Bullwinkle needs a home.
I love that. And, you know, the people may not know this. I didn't know this for a long, long time, even though I've done a lot of volunteer works with shelters and rescue agencies. But, Tommy, the black dogs, for some reason, are the hardest ones to adopt. And so adopting Bullwinkle, I mean, what a gift you're giving. And the dogs you adopt, they know you adopted them. That's the thing. And I always want to say, if you guys reach out to me and you're in our chat and someone from our chats, adopt Bullwinkle today, I will send you my own